Today, Michelle Knight breaks her silence. She was Ariel Castro's first victim and is the first of his 3 captives to speak out. Since her release, you'll see that Michelle has gotten several piercings as a symbol of her newfound freedom. She may be small in stature, but has enormous strength and spirit.
I'm really proud to be sitting here talking to you, and it's really an honor to meet you. I'm so glad that you're telling your story, and I want people to know everything you want them to know. And I would kind of like to start at the beginning. And, you know, some of this is not a pretty story. I'd like to talk about your life before this tragedy.
That was a horror tragedy.
Tell me why you say it was horrible.
In my case, I wished that my mother wasn't my mother.
Is that why you did not want to see your mother when you were released? When you went missing on that day, what she told the police is that you suffered from mental abnormalities and that she is confused of her surroundings a lot.
The only reason why I'm confused of my surroundings because I wasn't allowed out, I wasn't allowed to have friends. She made sure that I was dumber than a doorknob just to get the SSI money.
When your son was 2 years old, he was injured by your mother's boyfriend?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
My mother's boyfriend came home one day, high and drunk, and just decided to take out his frustrations on my son.
And how did he hurt him?
He twisted my son's leg, and I heard it crack. My son didn't scream, he didn't cry, just looked at me and said, "Mommy, help me." Thank you.
So at some point, they came in and said, the child's not safe in this home.
Yeah.
And so they took your baby.
And then they tried to say that I never protected him, and I did. I did all I could do.
On the day that you were taken by Ariel Castro, you were walking to an appointment with social services. Okay, Michelle, we're at the dollar store on Clark Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened here?
This is where I was abducted from.
And you live about how far from here, your house at the time?
Right down a block.
And you had walked from there, and you were going to check on the custody issue with your son, right?
Yes.
You got lost.
I proceeded to walk through this door.
Okay.
And
you went inside here.
Yeah.
And is that where you were overheard?
Yes.
So we now know that he overheard you asking for direction.
Yeah. And then the guy that was right beside me, he was like, "Well, I know where that's at." And I knew him because of Emily, which is his daughter. So I got in the car and I told him where I was going. And he said, "Okay, well, I gotta drop off at the house to make sure the puppies are okay." So I was like, "All right, I'll sit in the car, you check them." And then he comes out and he tells me, "Well, just come in for a little while. The puppies are upstairs. You could take one home to your son." So I said, "Okay." I looked around in the house and I didn't hear any whining, so I started to get a little nervous. Then he was like, "Well, the puppies are upstairs." And I was like, "I'm not going upstairs with you." He was like, "Well, if you want the puppy, you will come up." I finally gave in. I was like, "Okay, I'll go upstairs with you." And then I seen Emily's picture. I was like, "Ah, that's Emily." And I was like, "Is she here?" And he was like, "Yeah, she's here. She's just right downstairs." So I was like, "Okay." So we go in there, we look for the puppies. The puppies are not there. So he trapped me in a room.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.